There's a driver in the NASCAR garage right now who nobody wants to line up against on a qualifying lap. Not because of horsepower, not because of luck, because he's found something the rest of the field can't figure out. And Saturday night at Richmond, he did it again. Ryan Blaney is starting on the pole at Richmond Raceway again. That's back-to-back poles. 4 out of his last 5 qualifying runs have ended with him at the front of the field. His lap around the 3/4 mile short track came in at just over 22 seconds, good for 121 miles per hour average, and it was enough to hold off Chase Briscoe by the narrowest of margins. Behind those two, Josh Berry stormed to third, with Ty Gibbs and William Byron rounding out the top 5. RFK Racing flexed some serious speed too, with Ryan Preece and Brad Keselowski both landing inside the top 10. Bubba Wallace, Christopher Bell, and Joey Logano filled out the rest of that group. One name buried the headlines: Tyler Reddick. He spins in practice, ends up starting 32nd, his worst starting spot in years, and he's now dropped from the points lead all the way to 4th. Here's the piece that makes this pole run actually mean something. This isn't a one-off. Blaney now has 4 poles this season, a career high for him, and he's tied with championship leader Denny Hamlin for the most poles in the entire Cup Series in 2026. Think about that. The guy leading the point standings and the guy who can't seem to miss on a single qualifying lap are now tied to the top of the same category. That's not a coincidence, and it's not going unnoticed inside the garage. But here's the twist: Blaney himself doesn't even fully buy his own hype. He's openly said qualifying used to be a weakness for him, that he struggled to find one-lap speed and was making mistakes behind the wheel. What changed wasn't some secret setup trick. It was a process. Him and his crew chief sat down, broke apart what wasn't working, and rebuilt how they transitioned from final practice into qualifying trim. That matters heading into the postseason. 12 races remain before the playoffs fully take shape, and track position at short tracks like Richmond can be the difference between contending for a stage win and fighting through traffic all night. Now here's where it gets interesting. Because speed in qualifying and speed in the race are 2 completely different animals at Richmond. Blaney has admitted it himself. This is a track where a blistering 1-lap run can completely fall apart over a 50 to 70 lap stretch. Tire wear at Richmond is brutal. The grip you have on lap 1 is not the grip you have on lap 40. So the real question isn't whether Blaney can qualify well anymore. He's proven that beyond doubt. The real question is whether Team Penske has fixed the long-run pace to match it. And there's a subtle risk here that a lot of casual fans miss. When a team builds a qualifying-specific setup, sometimes it comes at the expense of race day balance. If Blaney's team has genuinely solved both problems, speed over 1 lap and speed over a long green flag run, that's a massive statement heading into the playoffs. If they haven't, this could turn into another frustrating night where he leads early and fades late, something Blaney has openly experienced at this exact track before. There's also a bigger strategic layer. Starting up front at a track known for chaos, cautions, and lap traffic gives a driver control. It means avoiding the wrecks that start further back. It means shorter pit road cycles, and it means dictating the pace instead of reacting to it. In a stage racing format, that's real stage points on the table before the race even goes green. Compare that to Reddick's situation, starting 32nd at a place like Richmond, where track position is everything, is close to a nightmare scenario. He's not just fighting for a good finish, he's fighting through half the field just to get relevant again. And with his points slide over the last several weeks, this is a team that needed a clean night, not a 32nd place hole to climb out of. Expect 2 very different reactions bubbling up online tonight. On one side, you've got fans hyped about Blaney's qualifying tier, calling it one of the most underrated stretches of the season, and pointing out that a driver this consistent up front is nearly impossible to ignore heading into playoff seeding. On the other side, skeptics are going to bring up the obvious counterpoint. Poles don't win championships, wins do. And Blaney, despite all this speed, still hasn't converted this qualifying streak into a checkered flag. That tension is exactly the kind of storyline that fuels debate. Meanwhile, 23XI racing fans are bracing for a rough broadcast. Reddick's slide isn't just a bad weekend, it's becoming a pattern, and patterns get analysts talking about deeper issues inside a race team. Best case for Blaney, the long-run pace matches the 1-lap speed. He controls the race from the front, avoids the Richmond chaos everyone else has to fight through, and finally turns this qualifying dominance into a win that resets the entire playoff conversation. Worst case, history repeats itself. He leads early, the tires fall off exactly like he described, and by lap 100 he's fighting mid-pack cars for position instead of cruising toward victory lane, turning another pole into another missed opportunity. For Reddick, the range is just as wide. Best case, he claws forward all night and salvages a respectable top 20 finish that stops the bleeding. Worst case, Richmond's chaos catches him in the pack, and this turns into the low point of an already sinking playoff push. So here's the real question heading into Saturday night. Is Ryan Blaney finally about to turn all this qualifying speed into a win? Or is Richmond going to expose the same long-run weakness that's haunted him here before? Drop your prediction in the comments before the green flag drops. And if you want breakdowns like this before every single Cup Series race, make sure you're subscribed because this playoff push is about to get a lot more interesting.